Hi everyone, Sunny here, Senior Technical Analyst. In this week's technical updates, I'll be covering the STI Index as well as some of the banking counters to see if there's any bullish or bearish signal. We will also be looking at what can potentially happen in the price action as well as cover some of the key levels that you should be watching out for if you have them in your watch list. First up, we have the STI Index, which retraced back about 0.84% for the past 1 week. But for the past 30 days, the STI Index is still up 0.97%, close to 1% gain in the past 30 days. Year to date, it is up 2.44%, which means that Singapore market is off to a pretty positive start in the year 2023. Now, we observed that the 3,300 points forms a critical resistance level during the 2022 period. Between the August to the December period, you can see that this 3,300 level on the STI Index was tested 3 times but was unable to break through. But on this year, January 20th, it actually broke above the 3,300 points and reached a peak about 3,408 points on the 30th of January. The prices on the STI Index has since come back down and breached below an uptrend line that you see over here, connecting the low of October as well as the low of January. Now, this breach below the uptrend line would present an opportunity for investors as well as traders to get back in on the Singapore market stock as well as the STI Index. Now, prices reached a low somewhere on the 15th of February to the low of about 3,275 points or 71 points, which did not really manage to breach the lower bound of the Bollinger Band. The RSI reading on that day as well at the level reading of 39 is also do not give us a clear signal that we have entered into the oversold region yet. So for now, I believe this downtrend that we observed since the peak of 30th January at 3,400 is likely to continue downwards for the STI Index. So what are the key levels that you should look out for in the STI Index? First thing first, you have this uptrend line which found confluence with the 20 days moving average gray color line that you see over here, which is also the midline for the Bollinger Band. That is the level of 3,349 or 3,350. That is the first major resistance that STI will have. If you go back to test this level, short-term traders might want to take a view and do a short position at the 3,350 points level. On the support side, the STI is looking at the lower bound of the Bollinger Band at 3,276. And below that, we also have a consolidation period that you can see over here, which you have been bounced quite a few times back on this level between the November and December period in 2022. That is the 3,225 points level. So the 3,225 point level will be a critical support level to watch for STI to ensure that at least it remains on the positive side this year, as well as to see that we can have more positive upside coming to the STI market index in the next few quarters. So support level to watch 3,225, Bollinger Band, lower bound of the Bollinger Band, 3,276. That will be two support levels to go back in long if you are going to if you're intending to go long on the STI market. Key resistance level 3,350, and then of course the peak that we see earlier 3,400. So likely you will be range bound between the 3,225 level as well as the 3,408 level for the STI Index, with the 3,300 level as a key pivot level for now. Next up, we have a DBS Bank or DBS Group Holding, which announced their results on 13th of February, Monday, and prices has come down quite a bit since it reached the high of about $36.40. So the price is reading at about $34.92, somewhere around the $35 level, but it came down to a low of about $34.50. Now, DBS share price, according to the MACD as well as the RSI indicator, is likely going to trend lower, as you can see that the MACD line as well as the signal line on the MACD indicator is very wide and negative, and you can also see that the big red bars on the MACD histogram also signals to us that there might be further downside for the DBS stock price in the next few weeks or in the near term. The RSI reading around the 45-point reading also shows us that there may be weak momentum on the DBS stock price, and hence prices are unlikely to rebound up very soon, and it will likely trend around the $34 level for quite a period of time. So what are the key levels you can look at for the DBS stock price? First, you have the Bollinger Band indicators, which tells you that the lower band of the Bollinger Band is now looking at $34.40. and that will be the first support that you can look at. And as of this point of time, it still have not breached that level. The next support level that you can look at is the low that we have seen in 2023, which is this point over here on 20th of January. That was the low of $34.20. That also could be another support level that you can look at. Okay, and of course you have a short-term uptrend line over here, which you can see, which is connecting the low of on the stock price, DBS stock price on October, as well as in December, and that forms an uptrend, short-term uptrend line at least for DBS share price. And we could also see that it may find a bounce on this uptrend line that you see. So all these trend lines, the support that you see on 2023 low, as well as the Bollinger Band around the $34.40 level, and this uptrend line has all found confluence around this level of price between the $34, around the $34 level. So I believe $34 would become a good support for DBS share price for a period of consolidation, as well as continuation of uptrend going back upwards based on the short-term uptrend line that you see over here, and that could present a good opportunity for investors looking to get back into DBS share price. But do also look out for indicators of the MACD turning positive, so that it will indicate to you that it will be likely have a change in direction to resume the uptrend upwards, as well as the RSI going above the 50-point reading to say that we are starting to gain traction on the momentum for the bounce back up back to the peak, where we can see the $36.40 high that we see in 2023 period of this year. Next up, we have UOB. So UOB is expected to announce its earnings on 23rd February, Thursday. The share price has been moving upward in the past 2 weeks or so, and we can see that the low that we observed in 2023 is around the $29.16 level. The key resistance level that we are looking at for UOB is the $31.40 level, which was a double top formation during the December period in 2022. So this would be a strong resistance level. If you are a holder of a UOB stock, you might want to take some profit off the table at $31.40, which was the peak that we saw in 2022. So at this level, it will also have breached above the upper bound of the Bollinger Band, thereby it will confirm a sell signal for the price to trend back down to at least the mean or the average or the 20 days moving average, which is the midpoint of the Bollinger Band. So going forward to 23rd February, Thursday, investors do look out for any peak in prices to test the $31.40 level. And then after the announcement, it might follow the footsteps of DBS share price, and share prices might come down a little bit due to the forward guidance that the UOB management might project. Okay, key support level for the UOB share price will be the low of 2023, which is $29.16, as well as the lower bound of the Bollinger Band, $29.26. So I believe that the $29.20 level for UOB share price will be a good support for investors who want to go long for the mid to long term on UOB share price. The indicators that we see here, the MACD indicator is still positive, telling us that there's still a bit of a positive momentum, and price might still trend higher a bit more towards the earnings result, as well as the RSI indicator reading at 58 above the 50-point mark, so that it still has healthy momentum to push the price up further towards the $31.40 level before we see a retracement back to the $29 level after the result is earnings towards the end of February. So that is my take on UOB. Next, let's move on to the third banking counter that we have on Singapore market, and that is OCBC Bank. Share prices, now it is trading at around the $13.07 level, and it's expected to release its earnings results on 24th February, Friday, 1 day after UOB releases its results. Now, OCBC share price has been on a tear since the low on 17th October, as you can see over here. That was the low around the $11.40 level, and it has since go back up to above $13 level with the recent high that we saw on the 9th of February at $13.23. Now, prices are still pretty much on the upside, at least it is still above the 20 days moving average that you can see over here, which is the midpoint of the Bollinger Band. Okay, so going towards the earnings results, I believe the share price is likely going to trend higher and retest the $13.23 level that you see on 9th of February. The MACD indicator, both the MACD and the signal lines are above the zero baseline. That means that it's still on an uptrend. But then this uptrend, as you can see on the histogram bar, is starting to lose momentum already. On the RSI index, the reading now at 59.13 tells us that there's still a bit of a healthy momentum in OCBC share price, thereby it might continue to trend higher in the next couple of trading sessions. So I would not be surprised if OCBC were to trend higher and retest the 13 dollars and 23 cents level that you saw on 9th of February. But then after the release of their earnings results, it may also follow what has happened to DBS share prices. It might have a pullback. And if a pullback happens, what are the critical level that you can look at? The critical support level will be the $12.95 level, which is the 20 days moving average that you see. And prices has been trending above this 20 days moving average for majority of the time since the beginning of 2023. So if it dips below the 20 days moving average, it may be looking at an opportunity to go long again on OCBC Bank share prices. Now, the next support level that we have below the 20 days moving average, that is the lower bound of the Bollinger Band at $12.67. And if that level were to breach, then the next level that you will be looking at would be this uptrend line that you see connecting the low of October as well as the low that we see in January, which is pretty far away at about $12.46, and unlikely it will go back and test that level. It will likely maybe go back to this level that you see over here, this resistance level, which was on 18th of November. This resistance level may have a change in polarity and may provide some support around the $12.60 level. So you can see that there's a quite a few support level that you see between the $12.46 level as well as the $12.67 level, which is the lower bound of the Bollinger Band. So if you take the midpoint around this support region that you can see, that would be the $12.60 level, which is the peak that you saw on 18th of November. So that might be a good point to get back into OCBC share price for the mid to long term. So you require a bit of patience here, at least until the earnings result is released on 24th February to see prices coming back down to this level of $12.60, and it will likely peak around the $13.23 level at the earnings result on 24th February. So do take note of that if you're holding on to OCBC shares, and if you want to get back into OCBC, if you have missed the run previously, the ideal get back position will be around the $12.50 level, which we have seen a few support levels over here. So that's all I have for this week's technical update, and I hope to see you in next week's video.